On Monday, the International Red Cross brought hostages across the border from Gaza. Lishy Miran-Lavi was watching, waiting for her husband. 2 years earlier, Omri, Lishy and their 2 children were living in Kibbutz Nahal Oz. On October the 7th, Hamas attacked a nearby army base, then invaded the kibbutz, killing 15, dragging Omri and his family from their safe room and taking Omri to Gaza. Lishy, her brother Moshe, and other relatives fought for his release with great dignity over the 2 years that followed. Now they're all reunited, and the family is learning to be together again. Moshe Lavi, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, how is Omri? How is his health?
So I'm here in Ichilov Hospital where Omri is being tested and getting the necessary treatment and support. He returned 2 days ago to a new world in a way after being in tunnels and civilian houses in Gaza for 2 years. He's recovering, he's healing, and it's extraordinary how quickly we see his recovery, the return of, he's no longer as pale as he was when my sister first met him, and he's simply the Omri we knew before October the 7th. He still needs to undergo through the necessary medical treatments that in the next couple of months, and of course all the support from a mental perspective. But I have no doubt he'll recover and return to be the father and husband and son he was on October the 7th.
So how is the family being together again?
I think we came to life 2 days ago. For 2 years we were focusing on our mission. Each of us had a specific task, whether my parents supporting my sister Lishy at home, in their displaced home, raising the 2 girls, Roni and Alma, who are 4 and 2.5 years old now, both survivors of October the 7th, whether my sister Michal, who has been supporting relentlessly Lishy here in Israel, whether in rallies, in media and other avenues, and of course me supporting from abroad as much as I can to raise awareness to the cause of the hostages and specifically to Omri's cause. And now we finally can focus on the family, on how we can rebuild our lives together, how we can be a complete whole family again. And it's simply amazing to see how everyone returned to what they were in a way. We can't erase the past, the traumatic past we all experienced in the past 2 years ever since October the 7th, but we can build on the unity and the strength we showed during the last 2 years in order to be even a better and more united family.
And tell me, how did your sister do what she did to maintain his presence for 2 very young girls over such a long period of time?
It was instrumental for us as a family to ensure that Roni and Alma have Omri in the household, even if he's not present physically. Lishy would keep speaking about him, sharing stories about him to both of them. They will wish goodnight to him every night. She would take them outside and wish goodnight to the stars, to the moon, and to Daddy Omri. There was a poster at home above the beds and in their playroom, and simply Omri was present. His spirit was present in the household as much as we can. And Roni who is the eldest, knew exactly what happened on October the 7th. She remembers everything. She remembered how he was taken in front of her eyes. And so she knew that we were fighting to bring him home. Every time my sister would travel somewhere, whether in the country or abroad, she would ask her, where are you going? And are you going to try and bring Daddy home? And Lishy would share it with her. And so they were aware of our struggle, aware of our fight, and aware of the fact that Omri is still alive and that we are doing everything we can to bring him home. That's why we marked his birthdays as well, including Hostel Square in April, just so that they know that we're still celebrating his life, because we're going to celebrate it with him once he returns.
Just a question about that. You talk about the trauma that one of the girls remembers. You've all experienced a very deep trauma. How do you prevent that turning into a forever desire for vengeance?
Our family doesn't focus on vengeance, and that was our message ever since October the 7th. Our family focuses on healing, rebuilding. We will forever call for the international community to hold Hamas and their accomplices and their funders accountable. They committed crimes against humanity, crimes against our family, crimes against the people of Israel, and including crimes against the people of Gaza. This day as well, they are executing people on the street of Gaza. But that doesn't mean that we're going to call for vengeance. We're going to focus on how we can make this world a better place through the strength of our family, through the light that Omri, Lishy, Ronnie, Nama bring to this world.
You just mentioned something earlier on that Omri was held by Hamas, but also by civilians. How difficult is that for you to know that it was ordinary people, not just a terrorist organisation, who were detaining your brother-in-law?
It is very difficult, but we knew about that from previous captivity survivors who returned and shared that they were held by everyday men and women in Gaza. I don't believe that all the population in Gaza support Hamas or participate in the atrocities against Israel. They're living under a ruthless Islamist dictatorship, and sadly the mouthpieces who are only emboldening Hamas, even today, even after the agreement was signed, calling them not to respect the agreement, which is why there are still 21 hostages in Gaza, which is why they're refusing to disarm. But there were civilians who participated in the atrocities and held hostages. And for me, they are simply affiliated, associated with Hamas. They're not non-combatants, and they should be held accountable as well through due process. Now,
you were part of the phone call, part of the group of people that heard that the hostages would now be released from President Trump after a long time, a lot of activism and campaigning over 2 years. In that moment, did you have confidence that President Trump was the person who was going to be able to deliver this and bring Omri back?
Ever since President Trump was elected, he put the hostages on the forefront of the agenda, of his foreign policy agenda, of his agenda to solve the Middle East crisis. We're immensely grateful to his administration, to Special Envoy Witkoff, to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to Jared Kushner, who joined the efforts in the last few weeks, and especially to President Trump. He has done an amazing job, and I know that he'll keep pushing Hamas and their funders and accomplices to the corner until they release all hostages. Last week was an amazing experience to all of us. We were in DC, I was with my sister, and we were able to have that moment together. We'll cherish it forever. Speaking to the president, getting the notification from him personally was touching. And in that conversation, I reiterated that there are 48 hostages in Gaza, 20 who are alive, but others should be returned to Israel as well. And he understands that struggle, he spoke about it, and I'm confident that he will carry the agreement to the fullest and as much as the US administration can do.
What is it that Omri most wants, just day to day in the practical things right now?
Omri simply wants to be free to choose whatever he wants to do in every single moment. And that's what we as a family are dedicated to ensure he gets. He was deprived of the right to choose for 2 years, alongside being starved, deprived of water, sanitary condition, sunlight, basic human rights, tortured in front of others and alone by his tormentors, his captors. But now he's free to choose whatever he wants. If he wants to eat a steak, we'll provide him a steak, even though I'm vegan. If he wants to watch a basketball match, we'll make sure he gets to watch it. If he wants to read a book, he will read that book, we'll get it for him. And if he wants to be alone, we'll make sure he is alone. Most important, we're going to be as a family with him, behind him. And as I said, it's the happiest days for our family after 2 long years. I can't wait to return and be with them in a few moments.
Moshe, thank you very much indeed for sharing some of his story and your story with us. Thank you.
Thank you.